In a world where social media influencers hand out diet tips like candy, where everyone's suddenly a health expert with zero qualifications, we decide to talk to someone who actually knows what they are talking about. Meet Reem Bashour, triple degree qualified clinical dietitian, diabetes educator, media commentator, and the founder of Nutritionally Balanced. She's worked with top health organizations, speaks multiple languages, and has helped transform countless lives through real science, not gimmicks. In this episode of Life the Battlefield, we go deep. We talk about why we are fat, the emotional battle behind food, and how our plates become poison. And yes, we can ask, can food truly be medicine? Or we are simply consuming the lies sold to us by the unqualified, the uninformed, and the influencers chasing likes instead of saving lives. This isn't just another podcast episode. This is a wake-up call because your health, your life is too important to be based on someone's Instagram following. Listen to the woman who spent her life in the trenches of real health. Because on this battlefield, only the truth can heal. Welcome, Reem.
Welcome, Mario. Thanks for having me here.
Look, I'm dying. I cannot express my gratitude and how thankful I am that you are here today with me in the studio, Reem. And the reason for that it is because this podcast, Life the Battlefield, it is about exposing the false and fake gurus. And today we're going to talk about two interesting topics: health and why we are fat. So, Reem, look, for our audience, let's go first, drill down. Who is Reem and what's your qualifications and what makes you today the expert in the studio talking about health, generally speaking?
I have 3 masters, 2 majors. So I've done Bachelor of Science, major in biochemistry and physiology, Master of Nutrition and Dietetic, and Master of Philosophy. I also did the Diabetes Educator course as well at UTS. And so my background, and I've got over 10 years experience in the industry as a private practice dietitian. I'm the owner and founder of Nutritionally Balanced. So I've got a lot of education and a lot of experience behind me.
Okay, I'm very curious now. That's a lot of academics, right? That's a lot of titles, yes. A lot of, honors and qualifications. How did you manage to fit all of this? Like for everybody who believes that, today I saw the meme that says, today doctors get a degree about medicine from the chat GPT. It's time to start eating healthy, right? Eating healthy. So in your times and my times, ChatGPT was somewhere there in the clouds, right?
Exactly.
So how did you manage to get all these degrees, and what was the purpose to get all these degrees?
A lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice. The purpose of it, from childhood, my mum has been honestly the biggest inspiration. She's an incredible home cook, and she got me used to healthy eating and healthy lifestyle. So that was instilled in me since childhood. So also my interest in food, knowing that food not only can prevent chronic disease, but it also could prevent it, but also it could manage it as well. And the idea of connecting food with science, with medicine, and with people, that quite a lot drew me in, because I love helping people. And I'm very scientific as well. All of that was bubbling in me for years. And I eventually decided to actually do the degrees and do the education to back up that interest inside of me. And after that, I founded Nutritionally Balanced. I like seeing and motivating patients, especially living with diabetes, to encourage them and empower them to better manage their diabetes through lifestyle and also medication if needed. Seeing them work with the education, with the support and the proper diet change, and how they take back the power of their disease and manage their disease better, it brings a lot of happiness and satisfaction to me.
That's such a good explanation. Before we move into that food industry and the health itself, Reem, I want people that you're the living human being, you're not a robot, right? So
that's right.
So I just want people to know that I had a privilege interviewing you for the radio show I was running a couple of years ago when I started my career. And since then till today, you grow a lot as a person, you grow a lot as an expert, and you helped many, many, many people. But I want to bring a little bit story back. You must face some challenges in your life. Okay, so I wanted people to understand, not just because I want to prove that you're not a robot, but what was the challenges you faced growing up, going in school, even today, and how did you overcome obstacles? What people can learn from you, from your challenges in life?
I faced a lot of challenges.
She's not a robot, I told you guys.
I know. I am not a robot. I'm not ChatGPT.
I'm going to ask you here.
That was your next question,
That's
right?
my question. You see, I have open ChatGPT. Exactly.
No. A lot of challenges. I don't think you know that about me. I do understand we know each other for years,
yes.
And I've been on your podcast before. I actually came to Australia not as a young person, a bit older, and I didn't know a word of English. I probably knew yes, no, maybe. Yeah. So it was very hard to communicate and all of that. I was Australian citizen, okay. So foreign teaching schools wouldn't take me on. Yeah. So I had to really work really hard to teach myself the English language in a way with some support, but I didn't have like a school support as such that is specialized in people who come in, they are foreigners and they don't speak the language, since I wasn't a foreigner. So in a way I was a foreigner and not a foreigner. So it's a lot of work, hard work. It's a lot of sacrifice, and also, socially it affects you, because when you can't communicate well with the public in a new environment, in a new place, it's hard. It's very hard. Yeah. So that was one of the challenges I've come across in my life.
You come very successful because you have so many degrees, on English. Look at my son, he makes fun of me when I done my master's. He says to me, 5 people done your master's. I said, what do you mean? The truth it is, when I finish my essay, I'll give to somebody my work to check my English. Then I give it to, and there's no lies, Professor Clive Smallman, the Professor Troy Whitford, Dr. Patrick, everybody was checking for me the segments of my work. And, eventually they will tell me what to do. They didn't vote for me, but my son was so angry, right? He studied medicine. He said, it's easy to finish the degree, when everybody works for you. So, they check for me. So, I compensate. So, I understand this one. Yeah. So, when the people face the challenges, what would you give them advice? What would Reem give the advice any person in any country across the globe when you face challenges? What would you give them your tip number 1?
Stay focused on your vision. Stay focused on your aim, and work very hard. Put the hard yard in.
stay focused on your vision, put hard out there. That's interesting. That's you don't hear it every day. You know what I mean? That's what I say. Like today, I have a privilege talking to you about topic, which is it's a burning, literally burning for me, because I'm seeing a lot of things around me, and people spending money, time, and effort on people who are not the experts in the field. But I say, it's going to be interesting as we go now further. Now, through your career, you face a lot of challenges, but then you need to start working with the people. Why did you choose the discipline to work with the people directly? Because you talk directly to people to help them, the patients, particularly you said diabetic, people with diabetes, right? Diabetic, right? Yeah. Why that particular field of the expertise, diabetes?
Diabetes damages a lot. Okay. Uncontrolled diabetes, a lot of things in your body. What I say, I'll tell you what I usually say.
Yes, please.
I usually say, what's the best illness you would want to have, chronic disease? I say, if you are willing to manage it, diabetes. Okay?
Yeah.
What's the best one? If you're not willing to manage it, what's the best one? I would say, sorry to say, cancer, because either there is a cure or a medicine or there isn't. So diabetes is really, if you want to have any chronic disease, is one of the good ones because you can manage it. If you want to put the hard work, you want to do what you need to do, you'll manage your diabetes and keep it under control. The worst thing disease to have is diabetes when you do not want to manage it.
Okay.
Yeah. So like I said, cancer, you'll go, okay, we have a cure. It's out of your hand.
Yeah.
Right? No one has cancer. It's in their hand. Either they have a cure or they don't have a cure, right? Yeah. And we have this pathway to go through, and that's what we need to do, right? With diabetes, if you don't want to control it, it is really bad. It affects your skin, your eyes, your heart, your liver, your kidney, your pancreas, you name it, your neurons, your brain function, your sensation in your hands and feet. It attacks everything.
Every part, yeah.
Every part of your body, uncontrolled diabetes attacks it.
Can I just, this, but I don't talk this very open or willingly because, my son, he had epilepsy for 12 years. He has a big brain surgery, and doctor told us, to me and his mother, chances are 50-50, will come out without or with, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I said, what do you mean? You just removed the part of his brain. He said, we don't know nothing about epilepsy. Doctor says, and I understand his concern. Thank God he was in children's hospital, so he comes 2 years later, after 2 years needed to do testings, without seizures, everything else. But something subsequently happened, I start seeing him, he started acting weirdly. He was very tired. I saw the glasses of water everywhere, right? I said, that doesn't make sense. He was always tired. He eats very little. And then one night, I just heard he felt, 2 o'clock in the morning. And, I saw my son vomiting blood and he's shaking in convulsion. And then ambulance comes and then they took his T-shirt off and he lost like 30 kilos, which I knew something was with his weight. Looks like ambulance says, I think it's diabetes. He can't have diabetes. He has all these checks for the epilepsy, bloods, and everything else. Long story short is, it happens. He was dragging this for months. Nobody knew it. Me or his mother, nothing. Turns out he has a diabetes type 1 now. He has a machine, and he's managing this very well now.
The insulin machine, yeah. Insulin pump.
But he I died with him that moment because I didn't know what's happened to my son. And I said to him, how long you know this? I've seen the glasses of water. He said, I didn't know, I didn't pay attention. I think I was tired, I'm just studying too much. My question is, what's the science of diabetes? What people need to pay attention? I'm just saying this like a more preventative measure, right?
Yeah, being tired, like you said, very thirsty, urinate a lot, So you're always exhausted and you don't know why. Like the exhaustion is not a normal one. You think,
good.
well, I've been like going to uni all the time for the last year or two. I've been doing similar things in my life. So what has changed? And that should be a big flag to actually check, especially thirst and urination. That's one of the biggest flags.
Mm-hmm. So you said we are tired, extremely tired. That's one of the signs.
Tired, thirst, urination, excess thirst. Like you'll be drinking a lot and usually you don't drink that much. Also the tiredness is not a normal tiredness. Like you haven't done anything extra in your day to be that tired. So that kind of should give it away as well.
Okay, so there's a two type of diabetes, right? And you are working with the people who has a diabetes, but my question is, before we start talking about some cures and the medications, they say that food is the medicine. Is there any truth in this or not?
Okay. I love this topic and this idea, but we need to be very, very careful. Now,
why?
Okay.
Why? Tell me why I want to be careful.
I know. You're dying for me to tell you why. All right. So
I have so many questions. Because look, there is so many. I was like, I didn't want to go. I want to start with more with a practical question before I go into some pointing fingers, some other directions. So, why we need to be careful when we're saying that food is the medicine? And
because it could be yes and no. So, a pre-diabetic patient, for example, they can change their lifestyle, change their diet with the help of a dietitian, and actually get their manage and bring down their numbers to normal. Okay. However, there are other things where, for example, uncontrolled type 2 diabetes. Yes, you need to change your lifestyle, but lifestyle might not be enough to manage your chronic disease and keep it down, right? So in that aspect, when you change your lifestyle, your diet with the dietitian, and your numbers are still high, you need to include medication. The other thing, I'll give you an example of the cancer. For example, some patients or clients have high risk of cancer because of their family history, okay, or their own medical history. So they'll have a high risk of cancer. Food, we can change that to reduce the risk. We can't demolish the risk. The risk is still there, right? The other side of the cancer is when you are diagnosed with cancer. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, healthy lifestyle, supplementation might be needed but with the treatment of cancer, you cannot demolish the treatment of cancer just because you're eating healthy. You need to be very careful. So yes, some things we can manage it and could be managed. It depends on a lot of things, including the patient and their willingness to make the change. However, there is a lot of things that you need, beside the lifestyle changes, you need to introduce medication. And that's why it is a good thing, but we have to be careful how to use food as medicine.
Food as medicine.
In that aspect. So you have to be very careful, and we have to be realistic and know what we're doing.
Now we come to the point where I want to make a even more discussion around this topic: is a food medicine or not? Most of the people around us, they're advocating eat some particular foods and you're going to be healthy, happy, wealthy, and forever in your life, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Curing all diseases, everything else.
Yes.
I heard recently my coach in boxing, Rodney Williams, he says to me, Mario, we are lucky, you and I, because we have a 20, 30 years of life where we eated less processed food, right? You know what I mean? Particularly me, I was growing up in communism and, I could dream about things, you know what I mean? But, am I upset because I have no burger then? No, really, because now I know that there was a reason why, the food introduced by my mom, everything must be cooked, everything must be soupy, and everything must be stew, everything must be cooked on a lard, And now when I think myself, when I ate all this bread with the lard and all these fatty things, but nobody was fat actually. because it was a different type of the processing of the cooking food. But today we're eating a lot of processed food. And we have on top of this, a lot of influences. One, it's a fitness. Second, health influences, right? Internet, it's a full of them. And I run the statistics asking ChatGPT, which is quite accurate.
No, you're a robot.
Yeah, and, I'm quite pissed off because it's like I'm seeing that people are being lied, manipulated, twisted reality, and being told by eating certain foods or just some supplements, you can do whatever you want in your life. You're going to be healthy forever. And I think myself, it doesn't work that way. Now I have you as an expert. So he says, research indicates that less than 20% of fitness influencers possess any qualifications or credentials. Healthy influencers says, while specific statistics are limited, there's notable rise in unlicensed health influence, including dietitians, nutritionists, and everything else. You competing with them. How do you feel when you compete with some coach, who never read any book as you did or understand chemical compositions or materials or whatever it is, about food and medications? How do you feel, Reem, about this one?
Okay. My feeling is towards the patient and the client rather than me.
I like it. Okay.
And I'll tell you why. I feel quite...
pissed off like me. You it's like me. So, but that's the same, like, like...
I'm trying to find the word for it.
No, you're a nice one. This is my job.
You help me out.
Yeah, I'll help you out, yeah.
I feel very angry.
Yeah.
Because I see the other side. So the patient ends up in my clinic where the specialists send them to me for help. Because
okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not the GP.
Yeah.
Okay? Go to Reem, let her help you out and see what we can reverse of the damage you've already had. Yeah. It upsets me a lot. I can see I'm upset a bit. It upsets me a lot because, like, when you see, okay, if you want to give you, like, just example, no names, no nothing. I've been practicing for 11 years. So when you see a 40-year-old man in front of you in tears, looking at you and saying, what I have done in the last 10-something years when I was younger, this is where it ended me at. I was trying to be healthy for my old age, not worse off. And now I have diabetes to attend to. My kidneys are not working well. I've got cholesterol. My liver is fatty liver, blah, 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 blah. And that upsets me a lot and hurts me a lot. So it's not about me. I've got my education.
Yes.
I've got my knowledge. I've got my business. I know what I do. I know what I can do. And I know I can help. So it's not about me, really. It's about the destruction that will occur to that client or patient.
It's just opening the can of worms because more questions coming in. I forgot to put in my 65 questions.
I know. It's like a newsletter.
We're going to bring the lunch here.
I know.
Something healthy, please.
It looks like dinner as well.
Dinner as well, yes.
We're going to be here for a long time.
Credentials are very crucial in any type of job. And I know in the work I'm doing on daily basis, being private investigator, I need to have qualifications because you can't just be private investigator and run around and doing things and go in a court, present, and magistrate says like, okay, so what's your qualifications there? I want to be private investigator.
Yes.
It doesn't work that way. So there's a minimum requirement for every occupation. However, this is very uncharted waters. And I'm being inundated with a lot of questions before the interview to you, why is not regulated on social media? Who can talk about health, nutritionism like yourself, being dietitian? Because looks like everybody's dietitian. Every personal trainer knows more about dieting than anybody else. And I said to myself, that doesn't work that way. You can't. My biggest predicament is everybody tried to help me, but nobody asked me what I need. They tried to fit me into their little matrix, that's what I call it.
Yeah.
Why is not regulated?
Look, you're going to get me in trouble soon.
No, that's me. Like, as I say,
Okay. The Australian government sees the accredited practicing dietitians are the face, and they are the qualified, the only qualified individuals to work.
Let's talk globally. I know Australia. Let's talk globally. So we open to the Instagram, and let's go find all these beautiful blondies, maybe the fake boobies and everything else. And it's like, if you buy this coffee for 15% off, just quote my name, you're going to be good looking.
You're a great advertiser.
I know. This shit.
You're going to be skinnier,
I don't have nothing to sell to lose the weight.
Can I have that coffee?
Yes, you can. So, if we go on our internet, you and I, right now, we're going to find a lot of these hot, sexy bodies, right? Whatever they call them. And they're going to sell some type of the supplement. And I said to myself, right. So let's talk globally in Australia. Why is not licensed this?
Well, globally, we don't have any influence globally. And like I said, the Australian government has accredited dietitians as the body to be looking at food, diet, disease relationship, and all of that. So we are the known bodies in the Australian government. But we can't stop these people even within Australia or outside of Australia. That's something the Australian government within Australia needs to change. Now, outside of Australia, I'm not sure how you can regulate that, because every country has their own rules and regulations, policies and procedures and guidelines that they need to follow. And I'm not familiar with them as much as I'm familiar with the Australian government. So to regulate that, it has to come down to the Australian government and maybe allow us allow our association to work more and have more influence on stopping these people from putting things that might harm the patient, health and well-being in the short or the long term. And that's a discussion between probably the Australian government and our association.
Okay, let's talk about supplements now when we talk about these things.
Okay.
I'm not talking about myself. As I said, like using myself, for example. So I'm a 53 years old man, and I say something always because I learned from the good friend of mine. His name is Professor Liz Isnering. And she says, like, it's not every person who comes from the gym with a six-pack means he's a healthy person. Doesn't necessarily mean, right? And most of her patients are younger people because of the type of the food they're eating and, obviously external factors, stress, obesity, whatever they are. But we're taking supplements, and I'm the one who's taking supplements to be healthy. Now, whatever I buy, I never even want to know is this tested on humans or not, because all these proteins, all these creatines, all these pre-workouts, they are being spiked with the now 600 milligrams of the caffeine. Yeah. And I said to myself, is that all 600? Give me 1,000 because you need to heartbeat. So I'm seeing in gym, the younger generations, they are taking uncontrollably because somebody told them, take supplements for the exercising. What do you as a professional see the problem with buying supplements or maybe uncontrollably using them in development their own physique?
Yeah, there are two types. If you're talking about the protein shakes and supplements and all of that in that area, not like vitamin D or or iron.
No, that's for the babies.
Yeah, for the babies. That's funny.
Talk about man.
Yeah. Look, I don't recommend them, and it's very hard to comment in general because every patient is different. Like even for people who actually compete, we usually, if they have a dietitian following their journey or being with them on that journey, usually healthy eating and lifestyle is the main focus. Rather than shakes and all of that. Yes, it doesn't mean that if you are competing and you need to be at a particular muscle mass or a particular weight or whatever, that a supplement won't be introduced on that level. But for the general population, why?
Yeah.
The question is why. So I wouldn't feel that for general population you would need these shakes and things like that. Healthy eating, good exercise, healthy lifestyle should be more than sufficient to give you a good tone and a good muscle mass and stuff like that. You're not like competing on a like
athletic level,
on a high level. Yeah, you're not going into competition. You're not going into that type of level. Even that type of level, like I said, it's not just given just for the sake of. It's given mainly the food and that, and then the supplementation, if and when needed, will be added. And not any supplementation. They have guidelines. They have things that they have to follow, and all of that, and it's regulated.
If I come to you, like off the street, referred by somebody you know, and someone says to go to Reem and go to her Nutrition Balanced. It's a balanced nutrition or nutrition?
Nutritionally balanced.
Nutritionally balanced. That's your business. Sorry, I need to read again.
No.
Nutrition balanced. I can repeat as much as I can because this is my podcast, and it's very important for people to know to find you. I'm gonna put this in the comment section below, guys. So when we finish this interview, you can reach. I'm gonna put all the links how you can reach Reem, and she can assist you. So if someone referred me to you and I go to your company, Nutritionally Balanced, and say, Reem, I'm 53 years old man. I wanna be muscly. I wanna do this. I wanna do that. What would you say first? What would you do? Somebody comes to you, my age. I'm 53 now.
You're 53 now.
Yeah.
Oh,
I know what I look like.
No, you don't.
As Matteo says to my son, you have no Adidas line. I said, what is that? He said, on my forehead. I said, that boy. Anyway, yeah.
I will take your medical history. I will look at your blood test. I will look at other things in family history and all of that. And I will also look at what we need to do. What's the urgent things that we need to do for your health and well-being?
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to protect you. Right?
You said this several times that you are in the interest of the patient.
Yes, I'm very.
So you're not an influencer who is like me. You are more.
No, I'm
patient-centered.
And I think every health professional is patient. Yeah. To be fair, that's is patient-centered. Yeah, to be fair.
So that's what makes you different and unique, because on social media, I think it's about individual.
Yes.
And you are talking here about collective you are working for. I mean, when I say collective, all your patients, let's say, as a one collective, right?
Yeah. So for you, I would question why do you need a protein powder? Why you need to put that pressure on your body, on your kidneys? Because
somebody told me in gym that I should do this.
Oh.
You see, I was, when I was in military, like, my old days.
Did you hear the ooh?
Yeah, like I was like, look, I've been exposed to many things, and when the funny thing is always come back, and I said this to my son, when I went to military school, I was age 14.
Wow.
Yes, I was supposed to be the young communist officer in Yugoslav People's Army. However, war broke out. Fight for democracy. In my definition, democracy was a Coke, McDonald's, all these bloods, right? And then suddenly you are the healthy young man goes in a war, and then somehow in war you always find things you can't find normal way. Stanozol. First I was like injecting it. 12 mils per week. It was just it was just not. Then LSD. Not sleeping for days. All these things. So you become like a super soldier, right? But subsequently I've been caught up with all this. A few years later, and I was become very ill and so on. So I said to myself that was a stupid thing to do it. And then you go again to the front of doctors. They say like, well, you're not medically fit anymore for military. I'm like, what do you mean? I was here now. Well, we never told you to do this. I was like, but you give it to me. No, I was lucky one to stay. So today we have the younger generation being exposed to all these supplements, including illegal substances as steroids, and you can get them, and you can go to your local veterinary vet, and get some tranquilizers, for the horses. So when you say why, I think it's more cultural reason and, societal level.
Pressure.
Pressure.
Peer pressure. That's what you mean. So everybody's doing it, or everybody's going, you don't have muscles that big. Look at all
the
of
girl
us.
says this, not the guys. And the girl says that.
Not all girls.
Okay, that's true. Yeah,
not all girls.
Okay,
not
that's
all
true.
girls. It's nice to be fit and healthy, in my opinion, but that's my personal opinion.
Okay, can you define what is the fit? What's the healthy? Because I always say come back to the one thing.
That's a beautiful question.
Yeah, look,
That is a beautiful question.
I question a lot of health because I think I'm grateful now. I'm being 53 and I learned my lessons in life. And I truly realizing that health is the most valuable currency in life. And I spent most of my life chasing some bullshit stuff, and listening fake gurus and everything else, chasing money, the glory, whatever it is, and now forgetting the health. But you're the expert with all credentials,
Yeah.
your authority. For all our listeners and viewers, what means being healthy? Not just fit, healthy.
Health is your physical health and mental health.
Okay.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
Physical and mental health, right? Yep, take notes. I can see you're taking notes.
Look,
So
that's going to be for my
the
PhD. I want to quote.
I know. For my thesis.
It's mine.
I know.
I'm just stealing from you now.
I know. And your name is not going to be
Yeah,
there. So it's a physical health and mental health.
Yes.
A lot of people, and I discuss that in my consult a lot.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. Because people come and they only have one vision about their health. And that vision, I want to lose 10 kilos in 1 week.
Yeah, right.
Okay? I want to be healthy. So my reply is, what's health? Tell me about your health. And then I explain to them what I'm explaining to you.
Yeah.
Your health is your physical health and your mental health. You cannot separate, and you shouldn't. You shouldn't look at only your physical health and neglect your mental health. You should not look only at your mental health and neglect your physical health. But I promise you, you can't do one without the other. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How you're going to be healthy eating and lifestyle, it is extremely good for your mental health as well as your physical health. So if you want to really look after your mental health, you have to look after your physical health.
Yes.
You want to look after your physical health, you have to look after your mental health. Because if you are depressed and feeling down and anxious, your food intake is not going to be the same. It's not going to be as healthy. Your motivation to make the change is not going to be the same.
I remember when I was in love, always, when I was in love, every time I eat less, I was just flying,
So I say to patients, you need to look at the full picture to achieve. You need to look at the full picture. Physical health. My kidneys, my heart, my pancreas, my liver, my gut, my intestine, my brain, all of the other organs, your nervous system and all of that, my spinal system and all of this, or cord or whatever. So you need to look at the whole lot, and you need to, and my weight. But the weight goes all the way at the end.
Oh, you can tell me I'm fat, that's okay.
No. But everybody's shocked.
Yeah.
It's like, I mentioned all of these things, and then way down after 10 minutes, I go, oh, by the way, and your weight comes there somewhere there, right? Because everybody focuses on weight thinking, if you're skinny, you're healthy. It is the biggest myth. It is not the right mathematical equation. Being skinny is not being healthy. There's a lot of people who are skinny, they don't eat and have a healthy lifestyle. Uncontrolled diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, and many other issues. And you'll be shocked.
So we agree now on that definition. Being skinny is not healthy.
Yes, but I am not
It's not okay. So
like I'm not promoting
speaking, like, exactly.
promoting obesity though.
No.
Does that make sense?
That's my job because it's what I go.
No. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's the wrong equation. A lot of patients goes, but I'm skinny, and I say to them, so what? I understand you're skinny, but your cholesterol is very high. Your diabetes uncontrolled, but I'm skinny, and I'm like, okay. But I just told you, your cholesterol is high, your diabetes is not good, your kidney's starting to get affected, function and all of this. So that idea that we get from the media and from all of the influencers, all of that, it's so wrong, and it shifts that patient into the wrong path. And by shifting that patient to the wrong path or client, they eventually going to become a patient, right? Because you might start off with a decent health or a good health, and then you have all of these ideas, and you try to thinking that, okay, if I do this and that, I will get a healthy life or body or brain or whatever. And then you realize down the track when you're like 40 and you end up in my office, that it wasn't the case.
Yeah. The one thing in this podcast today interview, the difference between what you and I are talking today and what we see on the internet, it's a raw truth. This is reality, which many people doesn't want to face, doesn't want to listen, because as I said, like, I'm the product of that society, and I was chasing for many years wrong things, from wrong women, wrong food, wrong goals and everything else, and I needed to hit a rock bottom, even take the sometimes shovel and dig deeper, just in case to make sure that I'm in pitch black. But that is a pill not many will swallow after this listening, because I know that, as I said, like, I'm not a role model. I'm overweight, and I'll not preach what should be healthy, not be healthy. But I know. One thing, I used to be married to the doctor. She was an anesthesiologist, and she told me some stuff, things and what's happened, what she's seeing on a daily basis. And when I go to my GP, which I go now maybe once in 3 months for my serological for the boxing, I need to have that done. And I said to him last time we met, I said, what do you think about this TRT, testosterone replacement therapy? He says to me, no, you don't need this. I said, what do you mean I don't need? He said, because all these influencers try to use this. He said, like, there's no reason why we can't give them. But I think there's a side effects of everything what you take. He said, like, why would you take this and make it yourself heart attack material? I said, like, so I was a little bit cautioning, how I going to approach things. If doctor says there is no need to take it, as you said, why we are taking? Because influence, literally influence. And today, last couple of years, since COVID, online, it's about all this health, about all what we should eat, what we should not eat. But I'm glad we have today you, Reem, seriously.
Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
My question now leading to something more robust. Why we are fat, including myself. You see, I came on show 98. I was at 78 kilos, 6-pack, everything. I've been introduced to the Pizza Hut, garlic bread. Honestly, I was uncontrollably chewing and eating. I said to myself, no, I can squeeze myself a little bit. Then suddenly I'm in a big journey, store. Now I'm happy again. I'm losing weight, but takes a lot of... Let's go talk about obesity. Yeah. What is obesity, and how the obesity actually starts? What do you see through your prism of your work experience? Yeah,
there's the lifestyle, there's the habits, there's the environment. There's a lot of things that feeds into obesity. So we're not moving as much. We're sitting down more. Technologies has gone so good where, in a way, we don't even need to do a lot of physical activity to do our daily work. For example, we're driving everywhere. We're using cars for everywhere we go. We're not walking. We go in and we use the lift rather than the stairs.
Because it's hard.
Exactly.
Are you not advocating to be hard for
now
us?
You know why I took the stairs.
For one floor, that's a good one. Yeah, I try to make you fat to come with the
I
lift.
know, to come with the lift. So also with the advertisement, a lot of targeted advertisement for unhealthy food, and they targeting the kids, and that's starts from the childhood and then stays with them all through the adulthood. So there's a lot of things that influences the obesity. We're eating more. So we're not moving and we're eating more. We're eating high energy food, unhealthy food, high energy food, and we're also having larger portion of that food.
I will agree with you. Like, you know, I mean, I say to myself, it's not that I eat it just more, but those chicken schnitzel parmigiana become bigger. Like, again, I come back to childhood and my mom, you know, we have the chicken, whole chicken, 4 of us, maybe once per month, right?
Yeah.
And I will get the wings, my father will get the thighs, you know, my brother the breast, and because he's youngest. And I say, why I was getting the shit, you know, me wings? Because you're the oldest, so like, I just want to have the breast, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But chicken becomes bigger, and the chicken breast or chicken parmigiana becomes the bigger.
Yeah.
So like, there's no way that chicken breast can be that big, you know what I mean? Like, it can't be like a A4 size paper, right?
Yes.
But you're right.
Yeah.
Why we are making size bigger? Is this because of the pricing, or it's a comfort, or why the industry makes the bigger size? Can you think why we then say, no, I want a children size?
Children's size. Now they do offer if you want, you can order children's size. They do have that in quite a few restaurants and whatever. You can say you can order a child or a smaller size. Some of it they call it an entree size rather than the main meal size.
Yes.
Yeah, and some of them they say you can have the kids size rather than the adult size. So it depends on the restaurant. Look, I don't know why, but that type of food also has a lot of energy. It has a lot of fat, which is unhealthy fat. It has a lot of sugar, which is unhealthy sugar, refined sugar we call it. And the more you eat from it, the more you gain weight. So if we eat more than what we burn, automatically, mathematically, you eat more than what you burn, you're going to put on weight. Why they doing that? Why they increasing that? Maybe to entice you, like the more you have fat in the food, the more you have sugar in the food, usually it's tastier, right? And they need the people to enjoy the food they're eating. I'm not saying healthy food is not enjoyable. It's actually very healthy, very tasty. If you know how to cook the healthy food, it's delicious, and you will have the healthy fat in it, the unrefined sugar in it, and you make it quite healthy and quite tasty. Profit is the biggest. Profit. If you really want to be honest. If I want to be honest.
Of course. Let's go make a
profit.
Let's go make it. You know, I love when I walk somewhere and someone shows me the pyramid of food. You know what I mean? How much we need to have the carbs, whatever, sugars, everything else. I'm not the expert. I just want to make sure, like I always bring this to the attention to people. I like to discuss things I'm not the expert with, because I'm talking from the point of view as a consumer. You are the expert.
Yeah.
So let's go talk about pyramid of being obese and fat. So in the bottom, let's just say, which is the widest part. Why do people start, or what they should need to look for when they start eating more? Why are we eating more? Should we ask ourselves the question, is our mental health, it's the stress, is the food too processed, too refined, too sugarish? Why are we eating more? But that's the first step. We become obese, right? That must be.
Yeah, it's a lot of reasons. Also, like when you have the unhealthy food, small amount of unhealthy food has a lot of energy in it, right? But it doesn't fill you up. It doesn't fill you up. You're still hungry. So you have the other lot of another part of the unhealthy food, but it's still not enough because it's a small amount with a lot of energy. So you tend to eat more. And some people eat more because they are feeling down, depressed. They run around all day. skipping meals will push you to eat a lot more. A lot of people skip meals to be healthy and skip meals to lose weight.
Okay, so there is a lot of, let's just say, I didn't want to go that part. I'm gonna make the mark about this skipping meals. Okay, just before you continue, because I'm gonna forget it.
You're writing a lot of notes, do you need more
because
paper?
I only have the 65 questions. I have a 95 already. So so let's go talk about that pyramid. So let's go down, skip to the top. So top will be, it's alarms, bells all around me. My blood pressure goes up. My blood tests are, have a cholesterol, possible diabetes, right? That's the top of the pyramid, because that's leads to the problem somewhere we need to explode. And we don't listen our body on the way we should listen to the body. I'll give you an example. In 2022, sometimes mid-year, I went in the Philippines for work, and you remember I used to smoke. I smoke, and I said to myself, something is odd. I'm smoking, I don't feel happy anymore. Like I feel sick, my throat and everything else, right? So I went to the GP, and my GP was not there, and a lady who was replacing my GP, she says to me, I think you have a throat cancer. I said, what? She said, I think you have a throat cancer, judging by the symptoms you're telling me. I said, but you think I stopped smoking? No. We're going to do more more exams and everything else.
So that didn't stop you?
No.
You had to be 100% sure before you stopped.
It's I just heard a list.
That is so like you.
It is, Miriam, and that was a sad thing. Anyway, my son was watching on the side. You said this at the beginning very, very well. My mental health was declining. All lockdowns, and I was reading all this crap on the internet. We're all gonna die. We're all gonna do this. And eventually, I saw. Good friend of mine, Dr. Debbie Kolo, she's a psychologist, and she says to me, listen, you're not only one. She said, you're healthy. I saw results. I've done all the exams. It's nothing there. However, my GP told me, all your values of the blood are in the middle. You're overweight. Your blood pressure goes to the roof.
Yeah.
He said, you're unhappy. You're unhappy here. It's going to crash. It's going to be over. I stopped smoking overnight, like this. My son says to me, stop smoking now, Dad. This is it. 30 years is enough. You've done enough damage. You're never going to be clear, but you can recover a little bit. You can do, reduce risks, everything else.
Yeah.
Never turn back.
Oh, excellent.
But I was afraid. Because that morning I went in the bathroom. I couldn't stop cough. And the doctor says to me, that's it. It's like, I think that's a sign that you should,
stop.
Yeah. Now.
But congratulations, you stopped.
Yeah, now it's 3 years.
Excellent.
It wasn't easy. But then I said to myself, will I continue my life?
Yeah.
Or am I going to bullshit myself and lie to myself and listen to all these influences?
Yeah.
Because I did. Because I was looking for every excuse, continue eating rubbish.
And you had
food.
my number. You could have called me.
Yes. But then I realized that something's wrong with me, not with everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I'm listening to people who are not experts. They are not. They have no credentials like yourself.
Yeah.
And on the way to the Europe with my son, he says to me, Dad, I think it's time now. Stop, make your brain go overdrive with the negative news.
Yeah.
Stop listening to people around yourself about everything's going to collapse.
Yeah.
And I stopped smoking. And I started losing weight. But I think that I'm one in many, many millions who could have this.
Yeah.
But I have a choice. But my GP told me, look, everything looks okay now. He said, but one value in your blood, cholesterol, whatever this, the fats, whatever they call it.
Fatty liver and
3 of them. He said one of them goes there. He said, it's done. He said, you're gone, Mario.
Yeah.
He said, I'll tell you right now.
Yeah.
So why we don't listen to our body signs? Why we don't listen to our body signs instead we're looking for excuses to continue doing bad eating, not exercising, not moving? Why are you smiling at?
I'm smiling because I was going to say to you, that's a psychologist a question.
Yeah, but it is.
But
I went to psychologist, told you,
Why? I think as a human, we think we're invisible. Nothing could happen to us. It happens to someone else, but not us.
To me,
right? And that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing, because we never could relate it to us as a human, and we deflect. Oh, yeah, that person might get cancer, but not us. Come on, it's me, you know? And that's why. Maybe denial as well. We use denial to maybe try to protect a little bit our brain rather than, you know, our emotions. If we deny it, it won't happen, things like that. But it's dangerous, though. It's dangerous. It's good to learn how to look at the fact. Okay? I'm not feeling well. There's something not right. I should go and get it checked.
But I'm afraid to, if, you know, that's...
Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Look at it as, okay, step 1, step 2, step 3. That's it. They are the steps I need to follow. Like, try to take emotions out of it to allow you to focus, you know, on the aim, to focus on the goal. Yeah. And then my goal is my health and well-being. To get there, what do I need to do? So step 1, realize that, for example, I'm eating too much. Step 2, I realize I'm feeling down, right? Or depressed. So what do I need to do with these things? I need to go and see an accredited dietitian. I need to see a psychologist to work on both.
It's embarrassment. You see, today I can say about these things, but I was embarrassed.
Yeah.
That my 20-year-old son holding my hand. And, you know, in one essence, you know, I broke down to my GP, like, and, you know, she says to me, so, don't you see it, Mario? It's like, you know, like it's nobody says you need to do anything. But, you know, I wanted to smoke. I wanted to eat shit. I wanted to, but then, in the other hand, I was so embarrassed how I look like, how I feel like.
Yeah.
I was lying myself, literally.
Yeah.
And, you know, I have a choice, you know what I mean? So, like, but I think the fear of, as you say, we feel invincible. Yeah. But there's come the moment when the, you know, Dominus Pater Spiritus Sanctus angels come around you and so,
and you go,
welcome to Kingdom of Heaven. You're like,
I better wake up.
That's what it is. So tell us something, how the obesity influencing our health from your point of view and drives that diabetes?
It has a big influence. It's one of the risks of diabetes. So you increase in weight. So that is one of the risks of diabetes. You increase in cholesterol, the cholesterol increase. That's another risk of diabetes. And then you've got your fatty liver. You end up with blood pressure. All of them, they contribute to the diabetes. Yeah.
And diabetes actually can be fatal, right?
Increase the sugar. In your bloods. Yeah. So all of these risk factors for diabetes, you start with them first. And then if you don't attend to them and look after your lifestyle, you kind of move from pre-diabetic. So no diabetic, pre-diabetic, from pre-diabetic to diabetic, and then diabetic 2 if you don't look after it. Then you move from diabetic 2 to diabetic 2 with medication, and then with medication and insulin. And then if you don't look after it further down the track.
So if I get my insulin and the medications, can I continue with some food, or it's like...
No, I just said to you before, lifestyle plus medication. A lot of people, but that's a good thing you said that. You know what? I get that a lot. Give me a tablet.
I'm going to continue my way.
Just give me a tablet. You know, and I'm like, it doesn't work that way. So you're at a dietitian's consult. So
you're smiling. You're positive. I like to refer everybody to you. Like, guys, I'm going to put in the comment section below the Reem details, so you can check your health, guys. You know what I mean? Don't wait the last moment. I think in my case, I was on the verge. I have the feeling something unnatural happening with me, and now I'm sort of like I was thinking to myself, this is the end. You know what I mean? Yeah. My body says to me, you need to do something.
Yes.
And then this was a moment of silence. There was nothing happening. I said to myself, this is worrying. And then I started coughing and couldn't sleep. You know what I mean? Everything else.
Yeah.
And the doctor says, look, medically everything is okay, but it's nothing okay.
That's okay. Excellent.
Yeah, everything is okay, but it's like something's going to go if you don't change something here, right?
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about obesity and how we help the people get off obesity, because that's a part of being nutritionist and dietitian, right?
Yeah.
have a several questions because we talk about skipping meals. So
Yes.
there's a lot of diets over there. Let's go talk about those diets. Keto diet, carnivore diet, just eat meat. And I said to myself, you can't just eat meat, man, but that's okay. Then you have those, what's it calling them, when you skipping meals, what they call them, those ones, help me. Oh my God, you see, we are both now like, oh my God.
Okay, it's on
Fasting.
tip of my-
Fasting, you know what I mean? Like
no,
it's
it has another name.
I know about fasting, as I said, don't eat for 16 hours. Like 16 hours?
Yeah, it's...
I said, dude, that's a lot of hours not eating. No, it's good for you. It's like, it doesn't.
Yeah.
And usually those diets coming from people who don't even use these diets.
Yeah.
So those diets, crash diets, 1 meal per day, you know what I mean? Or skipping, meals, 16, 18 hours not eating, 7 days. Now I heard something, don't eat for 6 days or something. I said, I did that, just eat what? I'm like,
dangerous.
that's a danger. You know what I mean? I said, well, who told them to do this? Now, first tell me, what is a proper dieting to lose the weight? And do you agree with all this? It's just just a meat for the diet or skip the diet?
No. Look, it's individualized. Everybody is different and everybody will be on a different path of their meal plan. It's all individualized. There's not one thing fits all.
Thank you.
And there's no magic
You're
bullet,
welcome.
by the way.
Thank you.
There's no magic bullet because people think either we'll go and see a dietitian, for example, and that's it. The weight just going to drop off. We don't have to do anything. No. There's a lot of work to do. But there is a lot of benefit that comes out of that work. Yeah. So no magic bullet, no one fits all. Absolutely not. What you need is different than what I need. Another 53-year-old male needs different than what you need. 100%. And you can't just say do this or do that. But I'll tell you two things that I say to my patients all the time. If you want to lose weight, never skip a meal.
Okay, I'm skipping the breakfast because I don't know. It's just
Never skip a meal, and never stop good carbohydrate. They're the two things.
No, the fitness influencer is going to say you have no idea.
Don't worry. I hear that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. My patients come to me and then they go, "You're a dietitian. Haven't you heard of this? That's a good one. Why are you telling me not to do it? But you're a dietitian. You should know better." And
Can we just rewind a little back? What takes you?
And I say, I'm a credentialed dietitian. That's why I know better.
Okay,
That's why I'm saying that.
What takes for you to get your Masters of Nutrition and Dietetics? Okay, how long took it to get that Masters?
I did 3 to 4 year undergrad.
Okay.
Then I did 2 years postgrad. Then I have done my credentialing, and I keep on being credentialed and work on my improved continuous professional development. So we have to fulfill a lot like doctors, like specialists, like all allied health professionals. We have to fulfill all these criterias. Year on year.
But yet you have the fitness influencers.
So altogether, it took me 8 to 10 years.
Yet you have all these fitness influencers with a certificate 3 in some type of the fitness training.
Yeah.
Challenging you. Guys, next time when you are looking for the assistance, first ask for credentials. Always come back from my point of view, from my work. I always questioning people when I do investigations. Always asking, can you prove to me that what you're saying, who you are? Identity, education, accreditations. If they can't, well, that's a different type of the story. So Reem, she demonstrating today what it takes to get accreditation and stay accredited. Not just the once, but to stay accredited. And you say it's not one size fits all. That not many people will say this because they're going to say, just eat meat, everybody's going to lose the weight.
No.
And I'm like,
no.
That doesn't work that way.
We have guidelines we need to follow.
Yeah.
There is an Australian guidelines that we need to follow to build the individualized plans. It's based on proper science.
So we can agree. Let's just say I'll do this from my point of view as a pure amateur, right? Pure amateur.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
okay.
food, you cannot say is a medication itself, but food can either increase risk factors to be sick, or can decrease the risk factors and be healthier.
Yeah, and there are some like illnesses that you can manage when you catch it early in the journey with change of lifestyle. And if you couldn't, then you introduce medication to it. So you can't neglect medication, but there is like I said, yes and no in a way. So you can do it in some aspects, and you need medication on top of it in other aspects.
So when you work with your patients, you don't talk just to the patient, you talk to the doctor, right, as well, the specialist.
Oh yeah, a multidiscipline team. So I might talk to the GP, I might talk to the specialist, I might talk to another allied health professional. Right? Yeah. So like a speech pathologist, occupational therapist, exercise physiologist or physiotherapist. So it depends on the patient. It depends the issue. It depends what we need to do for them. And it depends if we need to talk together as a multidiscipline team. Every patient is different. Some patients, I don't need to talk to their specialist. We're doing fine, we're doing well, and there is no need to go through that. And vice versa. The GP, the specialist, whatever, if they need to talk to us, they do. So they're not going to talk to us with every single patient. We communicate, but the multidiscipline type of communication, the deep multidiscipline communication, it happens with the specific patients at the high level.
So in your line of work, you don't just working with the patient what to eat, what to take, and how to, but as well you are a system that they mentally be well as well, right? You are looking the psych side as well. Try to help them to go through obstacles.
Yeah, well, we work with them through obstacle on an overview level, and on a lower level, like fussy eaters and things like that. We start with them and few hints and tips and few techniques and all of that. If that doesn't work, then the patient needs to introduce a psychologist. Okay. Right? Yeah. So it all depends. Sometimes the technique with the food that we give them is more than enough, and that maybe makes them overcome the fussy eating with whatever techniques we gave them with the food. If that doesn't work, then 100% a psychologist needs to be involved, because we look at it on a food-based change of behavior. Right? Yeah. So we're not psychologists. You need to determine the difference. Yes, we do. We have to, but we work with them on the food behavior type. Once we feel that, that's not working. That it's not just that. So 100%, I need a psychologist on board.
Yeah, psychologist on board as well.
100%.
What's the biggest
We don't
reason?
overstep our boundaries. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's the bottom line. None of us.
That's a health and fitness influencers. They are everything. They're psychologists. They do everything.
No. Oh gosh, no. No, I'm not a psychologist. But yes, we have to, because we deal with fussy eaters. We have to we have techniques with food that we start off with, and that's to do with our job. Beyond that, if the patient is not responding, psychologist on board.
Instead of saying the story or making statement, why people fail, tell me why people succeed on journey with you.
Why people succeed with journey with me? Oh, okay. I'll tell you what my patient tell me.
Please, that's what I mean.
Because I'm not going to tell you from my point of view, because then it's kind of, I think it's irrelevant.
Yeah.
All right. So what they say, you make it very simple. You make it fun. We just it's easy to achieve. I don't know what you do, but you just kind of make it easy for us to do it. Yeah. So when they go home, it's so easy. And that's the feedback I get from them. I'm easy to talk to. I don't judge. They say we can say anything to you. My own patient dob themselves in. And I go to them, okay, do you realize, you just dobbed yourself? If you didn't dob yourself in, I would not have known that you've done that.
Yeah.
They go, Reem, you're so good, you never judge us, whatever, and we feel we can tell you anything. So yeah, my patient comes in, oh God, I had a chocolate the other, like, you need to tell me that. Like, if you didn't tell me that, I wouldn't have kind of noticed you had a chocolate, like a chocolate.
Okay,
2 days ago.
Let's just speak about chocolate. I make the notes as well. I thought, I know, just the one question.
Are you still writing notes?
No,
I'm going to see a thesis by Mario.
Look, it's how to be skinny and healthy like Mario Bekes, thanks to the Reem. Reem, we spoke about this type of diets and, and what we should eat, what not should we eat, and how we should eat. And, there's influences, there's professionals like yourself. But the food is available there, as you say, and the kids start very early. I never noticed this before I was even told. Mari, when you walk to the aisles, that all sweets are very low. I said, they are, man. I need to bend, It's so the supermarkets, they come to decision, after research, the kids, they're little, they're grabbing things on the side. So we grab the sweets.
That's marketing for you.
Yeah, that's very sad. Look, I think we are living in some type of vicious circle because, we are eating everything what makes us unhealthy. And then we go to the gym to lose that extra weight. But gym itself is not enough. I have a good friend of mine, when I'm going to see him on Saturday, Wako Tao. He's a Taoist, he's lecturing university, and he's, his wisdoms, he says, Mario, all our problems come in our mouth are coming out of mouth. I'm like, what does that even mean? He said what you're eating and, everything. And, which is true, for me, it was even smoking and drinking and those things.
Yeah.
So what foods or what we need to take care when we are buying food? What we should pay attention when we buy food, that we get least saturated fats, the sugars, oils,
Yeah.
When you go in, so as I say, you go in the shops. Yeah. How do you determine what's food good for you or not good for you?
I look at the 5 food group.
Sorry, doing what?
I only look at the 5 food group.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you? No.
Vegetables.
Oh.
Dairy. Okay, don't have a heart attack on me here.
Okay. I won't give up on you yet, okay?
Meat, fish and alternatives. And carbs. And that's what I shop for.
Okay.
That's it.
Where's other things? Chocolates,
No.
cookies?
I don't go through the aisle of chocolate and lollies. I don't. I skip it. I just go past it. I don't go through the aisle for drinks, chips. No, I skip it. I don't go through it. And it's really good. Our supermarket in Australia, you don't have to go in. You just look. Mario's going to have a heart attack. You just look and you see what's inside of the aisle before you go in. So I just skip it. Go past it.
Okay, now you make
Isn't that easy to do? See, I made it easy, right?
No, it's not easy. It's making it harder now.
Why?
Working
Just
harder.
to skip the aisles that you shouldn't be in.
So let me just ask simple question even now. What's the good carbs? What's the bad carbs? Because as I say, I use my FitPal. I used to be using. It doesn't matter what I screen or not, what it is. It says,
What do you think a good carb is?
Well, I don't know, it's a fruit or veggies. Obviously, they are, Even they are the sugars in fruits.
Okay. That's right.
Look.
What are the good carbs that you could think of?
The meat will be good carbs.
Which one?
Meat,
No, meat doesn't have carbs in it.
How do you know? You have no idea. I know everything. You just have a master soul.
In the grain area, what do you think?
In grain area?
The grain area.
Look, the pasta for sure.
Yes.
Okay, the
Excellent.
pasta it is. I don't know, that's...
bread.
Bread. I don't eat bread. You see, that's the one thing I lost in Australia. I don't eat the bread. Because for me, the bread here, it's not the bread I used to be eating my home loaves and all these things, right? And all this thick, the toast is becoming like a prostitute, you know, the raisin toast, the thick toast, thin toast, you know, the brown toast, you know, the this toast, you know, pocket toast. And I was like, God, just give me the bread, you know, I just want to have the slice of bread, you know, I mean, like grains and all these things, old grains, you know, chia seeds. And,
I say to the patient, don't get confused, just get the normal bread in a way.
Yeah, so like, you know, I mean, I think that
they have a lot of names to it.
The problem is the spreads, you know what I mean? Like, you know, I grew up in a lot of jams. My mom used to make the jams in the autumn, you know what I mean? So we'll chew this the entire winter, you know what I mean? Like the jams. But, you know, today the spreads have become a problem because the sauces, you know what I mean? The sauce, you know, having any type of sauce is becoming...
With what? With the bread?
With the food, any type of food. Like, you know what I mean? Sauce, I think the sauce it's a death sentence, any type of sauce. You know,
it depends what sauce you use. It depends how many times you eat it or use it. It depends. You have to cook. So there will be some sauce or something in that food. You can't make a casserole or make things with nothing there. There might be tomatoes, there might be something there, but there will be something there in that food, and you need that to cook with it. But you can choose a better alternatives or healthier alternatives.
Can you help the people with, you know, the people want to do this guidance from you? You can help them to teach them, you know, I mean, as a patients of yours or clients of yours, what to buy food.
Oh, yeah. We do that as well, 100%, because we're going to help you how to achieve these things, how to get to your target and your aim and your better health and well-being. Not now only, now in the middle future and the long future, 100%.
Look, I remember my father, when my father passed away, was 59. You know, take consideration, I'm 53, right? He was looking like an old wreck at age 55. Like, looked like a 75, 85 years old man, right? And I tried to understand, maybe because he's a, you know, factory worker, smoking, drinking, all these factors it is. But my father didn't eat a lot, you know. I mean, he was eating all this, whatever, you know, sweets, you know, with chocolate, you know. I mean, that was mostly, he will eat those ones.
Yeah.
But we don't pay attention till it's not too late, you know what I mean? And I want to ask you before we wind down, you know what I mean, with all this 65 questions I do have for you. You are public speaker and you work closely with Cancer Council in New South Wales and Diabetes.
Yeah.
Why are you working with them?
I love assisting the community. I love giving back to the community. And that's something I wanted to do right from the start. That's a vision that I refuse to budge on. From the start, even when, you know, when you start a business, the income's not there, right? Like, let's be frank. You start the business, like the income's not going to come and you're like making more money than what your expenses are the first few months, correct? Yes. So, but I made a promise. I want to always give back to the community one way or another, in one shape or another. And so any time I had an opportunity to assist, to give back, I rose my hand up, and I did. So I do different things. I've done a lot of like presentations in the community and all of that. And every time I do presentation, I get these two things that they say. You're the first person we ring to ask you for help for the community. You never ever say, pay me that much money. You don't want payment. The second thing I get, oh my God, Reem, I'm so sorry, but like it took more than 1 hour. You can leave, please, you can leave. And I will block half a day for that one presentation. I will never stop, rush things for the community. And I get that second input every single time. Oh, you're so kind. Please, you can go. The hour's gone and whatever. They don't have to ask anything. You don't have to give them any more and whatever. And I give that time and I move on, regardless. So that's something I kind of like doing.
What's the new emerging trends you're seeing now in nutritionism, in dietitian world? What's the new trends you're seeing?
The trends.
Yeah.
There are two trends that I really...
You can check your answers. Like you're in school, I'm going to mark you down. Did you check your...
I do check. I'm really excited about the innovation of texture modification. for the aged care facilities and the patients who have swallowing difficulties to make the food more presentable, more enjoyable. So that area, I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's improving a lot. It's making a huge difference, and that's something to look for. The other thing is the gut health. There's a lot of research into the gut health, which I think it's really good, and it's linking things and finding out things. It's still at the start, still at the start, but it's looking positive, more research into that area. I think we're going to get quite a lot of information linking it to mental health, linking it to chronic disease and all of that. That's going to be helpful down the track.
Yes.
So that's really, really interesting and good to see that there are innovation and research input in this area. Quite good.
So that's a good one. So like before we wind up, literally, like, you know what I mean? How the people can find you? What they can expecting, and congratulations on you're the finalist in Business Award.
Yes, I'm the finalist in the Business Award and the Championship Award as well.
Guys, I'm gonna put a link there. You know what I mean? It's not too late to you vote. I really like to you give the thumbs up on your love to Reem, because Reem she took the time today to give her knowledge and her experience how you can enjoy your life better, because after all, we all on some type of journey, and why don't make your life more enjoyable while you can, instead of seeking for the assistance when it's too late. Or I have somebody recently here, she's a good friend of mine. She came from Germany to visit the family in Queensland, and she says she's been diagnosed with breast cancer a few years ago, which I didn't know. I said, disappeared. I said, what's happened to you? Anyway, long story short, she says, like, I need to see a psychologist. And I went to see a psychologist. Psychologist says, you're doing this very well. She says, look, that's what it is. I live my life, blah, blah, blah. And psychologist explained, he said, most of people are dealing badly because all their life they think they're doing good thing, and they realize they actually done the bad thing. And that is the food, the behavior, and everything else. Yeah. And it's not too late, guys, to change your habits. There's a good carbs, there's good fats. We didn't talk about chocolates. Chocolate's good, yeah? No, it's not good.
You were hoping it is good.
Chocolate is, as Rima says, not good. But look, I want to say...
In moderation.
In moderation. So, like, before we wind up, first of all, thank you for being my guest today. There's so many questions. I'm hoping to have it soon again. Yes. But where the people can find you, what they can expect?
They can find me on our website, nutritionallybalance.com.au. We in 3 locations, Burwood, Liverpool, North Sydney, and we also do telehealth, video telehealth, and NDIS providers, and we do home visits. So they can find me on the website and contact us either via phone or email, either way.
Reema, thank you so much for being my guest today. Guys, we're going to put the comment section below again where you can find Reem, and be healthy. Because after all, health is the most valuable currency in life. So why you don't bank on this with Reema? Reema, thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here, Mario. Thank you.